Mayor of the Virgin Islands, Dr. the Honorable Natalia D. Wheatley, has called upon the people of the Virgin Islands to voice their opinions on the matter of same-sex marriage, while stressing that legislators should be obligated to heed the wishes of the populace. A referendum has been considered by Wheatley as a means to fortify the BVI's position against potential forced legalization of same-sex marriage within the territory. The news of the referendum first surfaced in December of 2022 when Premier Wheatley addressed the public regarding an ongoing legal decision before the High Court. The case involves a same-sex couple, both Virgin Islanders, who were married abroad and subsequently sought legal recognition of their union within the BVI. Should the court decide in favor of the two women, the decision could invalidate Section 13, Number 1C of the Matrimonial Proceedings and Property Act, which currently stipulates that marriage is valid only between a male and female. Premier Wheatley emphasized that such a ruling had the potential to disrupt the social and religious fabric of the society. In response to the legal challenge, the government of the Virgin Islands expressed its intent to vigorously defend existing laws and uphold the authority of the democratically elected legislator in making decisions on matters of this nature. Wheatley firmly stated his belief that issues of social and religious significance should not be decided on in the courts. During the last two general elections in 2019 and 2022 in the British Virgin Islands, as part of Tweet4 Media's election series Just for the Record, we asked candidates what their take was on the legalization of same-sex marriage. These candidates are now sitting lawmakers. Take a look at what the sitting members of the House of Assembly said in regards to their take during the election campaign. Legalization of gay marriage.
Legalization of gay marriage?
Gay marriage.
No.
Legalization of gay marriage.
I think that I can't say yes and I can't say no.
Tell me.
But what needs to happen in the country it's a country that it's a democratic process. And if the majority of people vote, and that's what should happen, that's what should happen.
Again, my foundation in God will not allow me to support that.
I believe that too. Well, in a sense, everyone has the right to love who they want. That's the reality. I think the Constitution allows for persons to, have their own, be themselves.
Okay.
And that's the reality. I think that definitely will, of course, bring forth different messages within the community in terms of whether people are comfortable with it. We say that we are a Christian society, so you automatically begin to pull on some various strings there. But
Right.
These are the kind of things where I believe we have to have that community conversation and allow the community, not just an individual, even 13 individuals, to make that decision. I think it's a community choice.
So, can't say yes or no to gay marriage.
I can't.
That is a matter for the people of the BVI to determine. This is a very religious community. We have to respect that, and we should leave it up to the people of the BVI in a referendum to make that decision.
That I don't support. I am for husband and wife,
Okay.
male and female. Why I say that is because it's a natural thing. It's not something that we here in the Virgin Islands, it's not part of our value system in terms of, I recognize that there's same-sex marriages and same-sex relationships. And I have absolutely nothing against that. Absolutely nothing against, because it's choice, right? And I do have no persons who I know that are in same-sex relationships, and I don't discriminate against them. But I think that in the Virgin Islands, because of our value system that we have, we go with, this is what we do, recognize husband and wife, man and woman as the natural thing for a marriage. Now, if we decide as a country, majority decides that this is what we want, same sex, then it's no choice. Then we have to go with it. But if the majority says no, I don't think it should be forced upon us by anyone, because the thing about culture and heritage and your value systems, it helps to identify who you are as a people. Just like the flag. The flag in every nation of the world represents them. So there's a difference between you and I when it comes to culture and heritage and our values. So when you do something your way and I do something my way, don't try to change me. Because it's like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. We don't see it that way. I don't see it your way. So respect me for how I see it, and I will respect you for how you see it. But don't force it upon me.
Another tough one, because again, at my heart and my principle, as a Christian, that is not how I understand, God's intention for us. So again, I would say that while I personally may have a particular view, and I'm willing to fight and defend that view, I would still say again on matters such as this, that because it is of such great import that it would not be sufficient for 13 persons to sit in the House, and what we decide should be the way to go on a matter such as this. I think it has to go to a broader community. Now, I also ponder this a lot because in some instances, the persons who would be affected or who would consider themselves negatively affected are a minority, right? And as a Christian, the early church, they were a minority and they were persecuted. And we also see Christians now who are as minorities in certain countries. So all that we have to take into account when we deal with this matter. But again, as I said, I see it as something that while I may have my personal views and willing to defend them, I think that the responsible thing would be to put such questions to the wider populace.
I became a lawyer because I saw in my very early age the rights of people being abrogated. I saw the rights of my mother being trampled on, and she didn't have a voice. And that was one of the reasons why, in the back of my mind, I became a lawyer. And one of the reasons why I offered the assistance pro bono work, the hours that I told you about previously, to people who are underrepresented. So I have a healthy respect for the rights of people. I believe, as provided in the Constitution, every single person has the right to private and family life. I believe that. I do not believe that I'm qualified, or any one of us qualified, to tell another person how to live. We don't have to agree with it. But once that person is happy and they are living within the confines of the law, I believe it's a matter for them and God. And that is my view on that matter.